Bargaining Better, how the Trokt Negotiation Management Platform can help you find better resolutions faster. Negotiation has been a part of human society since the dawn of time, but the structured negotiations that the Trokt Negotiation Management Platform is helping with, whether they be collective bargainings, whether they be family law mediations, whether they be commercial real estate leases, these types of items are what we've really designed a platform that mimics how we negotiate in fair, transparent ways to arrive at better resolutions, faster, more transparently, more fairly. Now, one of the most recognized structural negotiation situations is really collective bargaining. And collective bargaining has been with us in the United States since about 1842, following Commonwealth versus Hunt. And why Commonwealth versus Hunt was important was because this was the first time where labor was allowed to actually pool its negotiation power and work with management to address everything from workplace safety to pay to all the different types of issues that were ailing the Industrial Revolution at the time in a civilized manner where we could say, this is how we're going to operate, this is how we agree to operate, this is the collective contract that we're going to be making all together. And the reason that was important at the time was because this was the first time where we could actually truly avoid this, which is the burning down of the house that you would see in many labor issues early on. Often before collective bargaining, what we saw were violent strikes where one side was pitted against another and essentially war. These types of events were very detrimental to what really was the main issue, which is how do we find a safer, fairer workplace where everyone can get out of what they're looking for? How do we start structuring negotiation that allows both sides to reach a fair resolution, to focus on really what matters? Now, that ethos of finding fair resolution through collective bargaining or other structured negotiations exists today. The challenge today is not the actual violent uprisings we often saw with some of these labor disputes early on. The problem we see today is the technology we're using. Almost all of our negotiations are codified in Word documents or some other electronic document form that goes with a version-by-version document, even though our negotiations are highly fluid and highly complex. When we have our modern negotiation, we'll have two sometimes diametrically opposed sides with their constituents and all their different views, and they're trying to get all these views into one clean document that codifies all of our different positions into one fair resolution of what we should be doing going forward. One labor contract, one lease within one commercial office space, one mediated family law situation. All of these very fluid, messy situations are attempting to find one clean document through this email Word document track changes process. And the fundamental piece that we often know is a problem yet we haven't solved until now with the Trokt Negotiation Management Platform is the Word document is just hard to read when we start using the track changes. We don't know where we started. We don't know where we currently sit. We don't know what all the pieces are because it just becomes a technology that grows outside of our human ability to understand, adapt, and to interpret effectively. In side-by-side situations where we're looking at a document, sometimes the most risky element is something that just looks completely identical. For example, we have many times where something that is 20% can very easily in side-by-side be slipping through to something that's only fractions of 2. This happens frequently in highly fluid, highly technical, highly difficult negotiations, and this right here can cost between hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars. This is exactly why the National Mediation Board, when it needed to remove $1 million worth of cost within all its different negotiations, over 15,000 arbitrations a year, integrated Trokt as its negotiation management platform within its full arbitrator workspace system. And the reason is because what Trokt does differently than anything else, Trokt is a cloud-based platform which allows both sides to set the different permissions for all the different parties to make sure individuals only see what they are allowed to see, they only get to draft what they're allowed to draft, and they only get to share when they're allowed to share. By putting a document into Trokt, we're able to actually break it up into section-by-section pieces, which are able to allow us to mimic exactly how negotiations typically go, where we tentatively agree to a section, close that section off, and make sure no one else is able to touch it by accident or intentionally. So we can then start looking at what's actually changing in each section, let's actually get away from being worried about whether or not the whole document has changed where we said we haven't, and let's get into saying this is what's really important in this section right now. Trokt is built to be absolutely simple in the fact that uploading attachments, so background information that may be relevant to negotiation, could go in with really just 2 to 3 clicks. To facilitate communication with all the different parties or with targeted parties, we have a great general notes section that people can very quickly use with 2 clicks. In order to make changes to drafts and make changes to other pieces of the document in each section, you open up a Word editor that actually works just like any other word processor you're going to be familiar with. Within the negotiation space, you can go and look at any other draft that you've created for this document. You can create all your 10 different scenarios out in the future. You can flip through any single one that you're looking for. Your team can come up with your entire strategy of what words you would change where depending on what the other side has done. Our 2-click positive actions make sure that nothing actually gets shared, nothing gets agreed, no status changes for a team until 2 actions have been taken by an approved individual on that team. We can always see at any point in time a red, yellow, green status of where every single section sits within a negotiation. And most importantly, for those who are actually needing to track multiple negotiations at once, a recent activity log allows someone to actually come and see exactly all the different sections that have changed in every single one of their negotiations and every single one of their contracts with a simple glance and a click in. What Trokt is doing better than any other technology in the negotiation management space is ensuring that highly fluid, high-consequence negotiations with many parties are done in a fair, transparent manner where no side is able to slip something past, no team member is able to accidentally send information to the other side, where we're able to see at any point in time where do we stand, which allows us to get away from worrying about, do I have the right document, to do I have the right solution. Trokt makes your negotiations safe, simple, and secure. Following this, we're going to start with a number of different examples of what this means for you.